Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing another DIY video for around the house. This is another series that I plan to do on my channel. Everything from home decor, DIY, decorating, gardening, pretty much everything that I will be doing to kind of get this place in order. Today I'm going to be working with wood and making a few things for around the house. I'm upcycling a wood caddy I found on my property to make a Succulents Caddy, making some shelving, and also this really fabulous towel and blanket ladder. So let's start with the Succulents Caddy. So like I said, I found this on my property. It was left here by the previous owners. So I decided to upcycle it and use it. So basically I put these plastic containers inside. I'm putting some rocks on the very bottom for drainage. Then I'm going to add some potting soil and I'm going to go ahead and just fill it with beautiful succulents, which I usually find my succulents at Home Depot, or you can find it at Trader Joe's. This looks great outdoors, which is where I'm going to be putting it, but you can also use it as a centerpiece for your table. If you live in an apartment, you can place it in areas like window sills at your apartment. It really can add life to really any place that you live. So succulents is a really great way, and you don't have to water as much. The key with succulents is to keep it in the shade and water it every few days. It really likes to be kept in the shade, believe it or not. So I'm just filling this to the brim so that it looks covered in succulents, and then I will have a super easy upcycled wood caddy filled with succulents. I've seen caddies like this at flea markets. You can find them at garage sales. You can also find them at places like Home Goods. Sometimes Target has things like this, but this is an idea super easy for decorating around the house. Next, we're making some galvanized piping wood shelving. I've seen a lot of this type of thing on Etsy, but also very expensive stores sell galvanized piping shelving. And it can get really pricey, but you can also make it for a fraction of the cost by getting the items at Home Depot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm taking these pieces of wood. I got them cut at Home Depot. So you can either get your wood cut at Home Depot or you can cut your wood at home, and I will show you a little bit about that in a second. But I got these, I measured how long I wanted them so you can make them longer or shorter, and then I'm using the rest of my stain. I used the first half of the stain on my upcycle video, so if you go back and watch that video you can see me using the stain. But I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up by staining these pieces of wood. That way I have several pieces of matching wood throughout the house. You can mix and match wood, but I decided to finish up the stain. So I'm going to go ahead and stain front and back and all the sides and let that dry, usually for about 6 hours. So to build the piping, you're going to want galvanized caps. These are about $2 to $2.50 a piece, and I got 4 total. I got 4 of the galvanized floor flanges, and then I got some piping, galvanized piping. So basically I'm going to screw the piping into the floor flange, and then on the other side I'm going to screw on the cap. And then you're going to have all 4 of these, which you're then going to drill into the wall, and that will hold the wood shelving. Now, hanging picture frames and shelving is a whole nother video in and of itself, so I'm not going to dive too much into detail on this, but I did measure and I made sure to mark where I'm going to want my shelving. In this case, I'm putting 1 shelf on either side of this map that I have on my wall, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my power drill and just drill holes into the wall. Since I was having trouble finding a stud, I went ahead and used anchors. So basically anchors anchor it into the wall when you can't find a stud. So if you can't find a stud, you want to use an anchor, and that's going to keep it nice and sturdy so that your shelving doesn't fall when you put items on top of it. So I'm going to drill the screws into the anchor, and then I'm just going to go ahead and make sure it's level and it's even, and I'm going to do it on the other side as well. So I went ahead and marked it. I'm drilling the holes, putting in the anchors, and then drilling in the screws. And then I can go ahead and put my wood shelving on top. So since I'm hanging 2 shelves, I did the right side, and then I made sure to measure it appropriately so that it is completely even and level on the next side of the wall, on the opposite side of the map. So I went ahead and measured that, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the wood on top of the piping, and then you can put picture frames or whatever it is that you want to put on top of there, and you have a do-it-yourself version of galvanized piping wood shelving. This room is still a work in progress. This is like one of the first things I've done in this room. There's not much in here, so I will do a full house tour once I'm done decorating. But I like this little touch in this room, and there's a barn door entering this room, which might be a playroom or a game room. I'm not sure. So far I have the map and the shelving, and I think it looks good. All right, so next I'm moving on to the DIY towel ladder. It can also be used in the living room for a blanket. I have 3 long pieces of wood. Now I chose this color. It was already stained this color when I got it at Home Depot. Now the great thing about making one of these ladders yourself is that you can totally customize its size and width. So you want to measure how tall and how wide you want your ladder depending on where you plan to put it. I decided on a ladder that would be 60 inches tall and 21 inches wide. So I am using a miter saw here to cut my pieces of wood accordingly. And if you've never used one of these before, it can be really intimidating, but just be sure to wear safety goggles and watch a tutorial on safety precautions before using. I will be sure to link a good one below, so please check that out before using a miter saw. Starting with the left side of the ladder, I'm going to drill some holes with a drill bit. This drill bit is not long enough to make it through both pieces of wood, but if it was, I would need to put an additional piece of wood underneath. But it doesn't make it through to the other side, so I don't have to worry about it in this case. I am drilling holes, and then I'm going to go ahead and drill in screws on the left side only. Then I'm going to prop the ladder up and make sure it's level to screw in the right side of the screws. So this is what I did to just make sure everything was level. So I went ahead and did that, and then you have a really great towel or blanket ladder that you can put in your bathroom. You could put it in your living room. And these can get pretty pricey. So the materials for this were about 18 to 20 bucks. So that completes this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I will try to put all the details of what I purchased at Home Depot in the description below. So be sure to read that if you're interested. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye.